It's time for our pit stop. Here, we take a brief rest. It's a time to refuel, recharge, and explore shorter topics that are meaningful and helpful to us RVers. Welcome to RV Out West. I'm your host, Brooks. Today, we are going to share about a quaint fishing town on the Salish Sea, Anacortes. Plus, we are going to review the Pioneer Trails RV Resort that is located just 5 miles south of downtown. According to Wikipedia, Anacortes is an adaptation of the name Ann Curtis Bowman, who was the wife of the early Fidalgo Island settler Amos Bowman. In 1877, railroad surveyor and town founder Amos Bowman moved his family to the northern tip of Fidalgo Island. Bowman began promoting the area as an obvious terminus for the Northern Pacific Railway, as it was built through the North Cascades to the Pacific. In 1891, the real estate bubble burst. After the burst, the town became prominent for its fishing tradition, thriving canning industry, and timber mills. Anacortes was officially incorporated May 19, 1891. Today, Anacortes reminds me of a New England fishing and port town. The town is located between Padilla Bay and the Salish Sea, and it is known as the gateway to the San Juan Islands archipelago. Here are some quick highlights of some things to see and do if you have a day or two in Anacortes. Rockfish Grill and Anacortes Brewery, great beers and good food. The Donut House on Commercial Avenue makes some amazing donuts. The Anacortes Arts Festival Expo weekend is of August 4th-ish, and that's always a fun art festival to walk around outside and check out. Highlighted by the James Beard Foundation is Adrift Restaurants. Chef Theo Ott committed to the goals of the Smart Catch program. The Smart Catch program provides training and support to chefs so they can serve seafood that is produced using sustainable methods. Anacortes also hosts the ferry terminal that is the gateway to the San Juan Islands. Go back and listen to the pit stop in episode 4 for all the RV and Washington State ferry travel info that you will need to know if you plan to bring your RV on a ferry. Whale watching trips. I don't have a recommendation on an outfitter, but what I can share with you is that when I was 10 years old, I was on a fishing trip with my dad and one of my dad's friends. It was around the 4th of July, and we were fishing up off of Blakely Island in the San Juan Islands. And we were in a small little 12, 14-foot skiff with an outboard doing some trolling for salmon. And all of a sudden, we got stuck in the middle of a pod of orcas. And I'm telling you, these orcas were close enough that my 10-year-old arm could have easily chucked a rock and hit them. They were that close. Or one whack of their tail and our boat would have capsized. So to be able to have the opportunity to see orcas, I would highly recommend you go and experience it. It is simply amazing. The Pioneer Trails RV Resort, like I said, is about 5 miles south of the town of Anacortes. We stayed at this RV resort during the shoulder season, and I can imagine that this place could fill up to capacity during the peak of the summer months. This RV resort has some of the best landscaping we have ever stayed at. I would put it on par with the West Glacier KOA. This RV resort and campground attracts an older, full-time crowd, so it seems. With the well-manicured landscapes and the quality of the RVs that were camped there, it shows that the pride this place takes in their resort. We spent a weekend here back in October. It was your typical damp, wet fall trip. Plus, if you remember, this was also the weekend of the big windstorm that many towns around the greater Puget Sound lost power in. Yeah, we were camping in that. The sites are all gravel sites. There are no concrete landing pads. Our specific site was located just across the way from the playground, so it was easy for our kids to go and play on the play structures and for us to be able to keep an eye out on them. Our kids are well behaved and late elementary aged, just to give you an idea. We did, though, get a call from the office about our kids being unattended at the playground, which only leads me to believe that one of the residents called it in, which makes me think even though the Pioneer Trail RV Resort has a playground, we didn't really get the kid-friendly vibe. During this weekend, we seemed to be the only people outside and enjoying a campfire. Most others seemed to stay inside their RVs. This is a very quiet park. Perhaps it was the time of year that we visited in the late fall, but what I did like about this park is that it is quiet, it's heavily wooded, and it's close proximity to lots of activities. And the RV resort is really centrally located for an adventure-filled weekend. Personally, I think this park is best suited for adults to visit. I really wouldn't consider this a kid-friendly RV resort. With that said, though, if you are looking for a place to spend the night before heading to the ferry dock for the San Juan Islands, this could be a great spot to overnight or for a day or two as you check out the surrounding area. But if you are kidless and really looking for a quiet place to unwind, here you can enjoy the tall fir trees and the beautiful landscape, all without the hubbub of children. This, then, is a great RV resort for you to visit. Thanks so much for listening to RV Out West. Join us again in 2 weeks with our next episode. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or wherever you choose to get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And I sure would appreciate if you left a rating or a review of the show. Special thanks to Scott Holmes Music for providing the intro song, We Are One. RV Out West can be found on Instagram and Facebook, where you can interact with us and follow along on our RV adventures around the Pacific Northwest. So get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon.